Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, we're talking about one of my favorite projects, the DIVI project, and we're talking about how the supply of the coins get cut. That's the deflationary nature of a good cryptocurrency. They do cut the supply. Now, at the end of September every year, DIVI cuts its supply, and it's going to happen one more time just at the end of this month. So I'm going to talk about how that math works and how it works for the next several years. And just how you can do the math on your own. It's pretty simple once you understand the basic math of how they cut their supply. So I'm going to go into that, a little bit about the lottery, a little about the rewards, a little about the staking rewards, how to calculate all those numbers, and understand how your masternode will get you some returns and how those numbers will change things, and also how that's going to change the supply. And we'll talk at the end of the video how that's going to probably impact the price. And lastly, if you're interested in having a masternode from DIVI, I do have a special meeting that's set up on my calendar for just that purpose. So if you're interested in getting in the DIVI project, it's a very it's a competitive number for sure. I don't think you find a better way to get into DIVI. I take a lot of the hard work out of it for you, and all you have to do is book an appointment with me, and I take care of it. It's about 1 or 2% of the cost of the DIVI masternode. You'll have your masternode, and I'll be able to hold your hand through the process. So that link will be at the bottom of the screen just a minute, and I'll put my calendar. I'll put my calendar in the description too. So you'll have all that information, but let's get into the tokenomics and understand how the supply gets cut. Okay, we're going to talk now about DIVI masternode rewards, and I'm going to try and face you as I speak and not talk to you while I'm doing this. So here's new whiteboard, new format. I'm working on this. I got an easel. It's not very stable. I'm going to get a new easel, but we're going to work through that for today. So DIVI masternode rewards and staking rewards. How do the tokenomics work? So first, the supply gets cut end of September. So that's the way it works. So first we're going to end of September. I want to say the 27th, but don't quote. I think it's the 27th, but I'm not certain. I'm not certain it's exact. I'm sure it's a block number versus a date. So at the end of September, the supply gets cut. Okay, and that happens every year. The white paper defines this. You can go in and read the white paper, but there's easier ways to remember these numbers, and I'm going to teach you that very quickly. So. I think it happens all the way from, it's defined from 2020 to 2029. Now, when I first got involved with the project, I'm going to be changing colors to try and keep this easy to follow. I got involved in 2020, and the first block that I remember that was, I think this was the first year of the project giving out rewards. They gave out 1,250 DIVI every block. Okay, and that was from 2019 to 2020. So I'm going to just say a year up to 2020. Okay, now 50 of those every block, which is about every minute, go to what's called the lottery. Okay, which leaves 1,200. So that's the 2020 number. That goes until September of 2020. Okay, now that gets broken down in a few different ways, but the main two that we're concerned about now are the masternode rewards, which I'm going to abbreviate MN, and the staking rewards. Okay. Now, all you need to remember, and this is in the white paper again, is 45% and 38%. Yes, it's not a stable whiteboard. I'm sorry. So, masternodes get 45% of this number, and staking gets 38% of that number. Where's the rest of it go, you ask? Good question. The rest is 17%, that goes to governance, that goes to funding the team, funding new projects, reserves, But these are the two main numbers, 45 and 38. Those are what you need to remember. Okay? So if you can remember those numbers, you can pretty much figure out what the Masternode rewards are each year. So when I started, it was 1,200, and up until September of 2020, the rewards were 540 DIVI per Masternode reward, and it was 456 DIVI for a staking reward. Now, the timing of when you got those rewards was pseudo-random. I think it's stochastic is the term that they use. But basically, they want to make it unpredictable so that if you knew exactly when you were going to get paid for your Masternode reward, there would be the temptation to break down your wait for your last reward. If you're going to tear down your Masternode and sell it, you would wait for your last reward and then tear it down and then sell it, which would destabilize the network kind of a little bit. So they don't want to encourage that behavior. So they want to make this very unpredictable. And it does even out, they say, over 90 days. And that's probably a good average. But with some regularity, you will get paid some number of these rewards every so often. That was the number for 2020. Now we go down to, in September of 2020, this number went down by 100. And that was until September of 2021. Right, that's where we're at now. And the rewards now for your masternodes are $4.95 and $4.18 for staking. One last note about the lottery. The lottery blocks, to get win the lottery, there's 11 winners, I believe, each week. There's 1 big and 10 small. I think this is about 250,000 DIVI. This is like 25,000 DIVI. And it's given out every week. And to be eligible for that, you get a ticket every time you win a staking reward. So there's encouragement to be involved in networking. If you can't afford or be involved in a masternode, staking is a good value too, because there's the possibility of winning this lottery. And you can do the math. I think it's there's 60 blocks an hour. There's, as I talked about my time videos, there's 168 hours a week. So that would make 60 times that. So that's about 10,000. About 10,000 blocks a week, and there's 11. So you get your odds of winning is roughly about 1 in 1,000 of winning a staking reward. But this is what we're talking about here is the masternode rewards. So September 2021, up until then, you get $4.95 per masternode block, $4.18 per staking block, and you'll notice something. The gap here to here is 45. The gap here to here is 38. So the numbers, which will happen in this September, until September of 2022, this number will go down to 1,000. Actually, the block is 1050 because 50 come off the top for the lottery. And this leads to 450 and 380, which just so happens to be 10 times 45 and 10 times 38. Up here, it's 11 times. Up here, it's 12 times. That's why I was able to do it in my head. This is defined all the way, so that's all the way until September of 22. And I'm cheating colors, and it's defined all the way to September of 29, where the last cut takes this down to, it's cut by another, it's at 7 years, so it'll be 7 cuts, so you'd be down to 300. And this will be, let's see, 3 times 45, which is only 135, and 3 times 38, so that's 90 plus 24, that's 114. Okay, and the previous year would have been 45 more, so that's 180, and this is at 38 and 152. Doing math in real time. So this is 3x, and this is 4x. So the rate of this is the tokenomics of DIVI. Right, this is important to understand. And after 2029, it's not defined because the network has to define it. Everybody who's running master nodes and staking have to figure this out. What do you want to do at that point? But that's 7 years in the future. We have time to figure that out. But you can see every year the ratio of the cut. This goes from 12x to 11x. So you're losing 1/12. Here you're losing 1/11. Here you're losing, in the next year when we go to 20, when it goes down to 9x, that'll be 1/10. So that's 10%. This year is 9. This next cut is a 9% cut.
This one is a little more than 8%. Going all the way down the future, you're cutting from 4x to 3x. So that's 1/4 cut, or 25%. So you can see every year the cuts get a little bit deeper because the supply gets a little bit less each and every year, because this number keeps going down from 1250 all the way down to 350. Lottery becomes a more important factor at that point too. So this is the tokenomics of DIVI. Hopefully this is of value to you, and now you have a better understanding of how to calculate it yourself, and also the full tokenomics of the project.
So there it is. The supply just gets cut. It's multiples of 45 for the master node and multiples of 38 for the staking node. Simple as that. The rest is all about the lottery and supply, and we now know the schedule all the way out to the end of 2029, or most of 2030 actually. So there's your plan. Again, you can get your own master node from the copper level, which is 100,000 coins, all the way up to the platinum and diamond levels. Just book an appointment with me and I'll walk you through the process. It's pretty simple. Once you understand it, and of course my phone goes off again because everybody wants some DIVI. So be sure to reach out for that. And the tokenomics, how that's going to impact price. When the supply goes down, the price goes up. That's basic economics. So at the end of September, the supply gets cut by, I think it's about 8%. We're going down it's 9%. We're going from 495 to 450, and we're going from 418 to 380. So that's a cut of 1/11th of the previous rewards. That's 9%. So that's going to reduce the supply to drive the demand up even further, which should drive the price up. It's just that's how it works and how everybody benefits. And then the more people that get into the product, the better off everyone is, because again, less supply, more is held in reserves and master nodes, and the network gets stronger. So that's the tokenomics. That's the math. That's how to get a hold of me and get your own master node. So until next time, and until I hear from you about DIVI and other projects, I'm going to close the drawer in the bureau, and I'll see you next time.